Hello there, and welcome back. It's been a minute since my last What I Eat in a Week. The days I decided to film here felt like some of the most eventful and stressful days of my entire year. It was cookbook publication week, and you know what's best to make when you're stressed. Easy, fast, and quick meals where you don't have to think too much. So that's what most of the recipes in this video are going to look like. So let's get right into it. I started off the week with a hot lemon water tea type thing. I had spent the previous days filming a dessert video, and so my body was craving vitamins. Breakfast was this weird leftover muesli. For my base, I'd mixed together peanut butter, applesauce, and vegan cream cheese. It sounds weird, but it turns into this yogurt pudding mixture that actually tastes amazing. Lunch was a little more elaborate. Aora Foods gifted me a bunch of products recently, which makes me feel very special because as far as I know, they aren't available in Germany yet, and I used that to make summer rolls with. I added spinach to those as well, pickled onions, avocado. Some of them I also filled with cucumber and chickpeas. Lastly, some vegan chili mayo and bagel seasoning went on top. In the afternoon, I made myself tahini hot chocolate. Yeah, I had to do my taxes that day, and so I needed something to lighten the mood for that. Inside a small saucepan, I whisked together unsweetened cacao powder, white tahini, rice syrup, vanilla sugar, and water. Once combined, I poured in some non-dairy milk, I think this was oat, and then I brought everything up to a quick simmer. It's not too sweet or too rich, but still super warming and cozy at the same time. I also had something else to look forward to. The weeks leading up to the cookbook launch, I've been doing online meetups with some of you guys. And it's always been a really cute time. So yeah, shout out to everyone who joined. I hope you had fun and I wasn't being too awkward. Dinner was some roasted sweet potato circles. I gave these slices about 30 to 35 minutes in the oven. And then I topped them off with this sunflower seed garden herb spread, leftover chickpeas, and cucumber chunks, also parsley and sriracha. On to Tuesday, aka book release day. I remember accidentally waking up super late that day. Here's me chopping an apple at around noon, and yes, I have my shirt inside out. I transferred the apple chunks to a small saucepan together with a teaspoon of vegan butter, some lemon juice, and cinnamon. I allowed the apples to cook for about 5 minutes over medium. In the meantime, I got out some dark bread, added soy yogurt on top of that, and then finished that off with the sort of caramelized apples. Also a bit of agave. This almost feels like eating pancakes. It's really good. One of my major to-dos for the day was to bake and film a cake recipe. This is a Taylor Swift-inspired bejeweled lavender and rosé cake. I will have the recipe linked down below. But yeah, I snacked on plenty of buttercream frosting during that and had a bit of the cake as well. I highly recommend it. Now, a super quick lunch was this ready-made wrap that I got from Edeka. It's so yummy. I was really in a rush, so I needed something ready to go. I had a bunch of friends coming over. that night for a little at-home book release party, and I really wanted to have a bunch of dishes and treats from the cookbook ready for everyone to try. Though my friends also graciously helped me with that and brought some things as well. Lottie here, for example, had prepared this quick rice noodle salad from the book, and Nina had made these chocolate sweet potato muffins. And that girl, not only did she create mini versions of the book to decorate the muffins with, but she also wrote and designed a fake news article about the insane success of the book. It is one of the funniest things I've ever read, and I love you so much for that, Nina. I really appreciate it. Also, Artemis printed out stickers from her illustrations in the book. I just felt very loved that day and ate a lot of food. Wednesday morning, I woke up feeling not so good. I don't know, I was just really overwhelmed with everything going on. I also just think that it's imposter syndrome that was kicking in a lot that morning. And so to work against that, I first did some exercise. That usually makes me feel a lot better. So does occupying my brain with something completely different, such as a little French lesson. Learning languages just scratches a certain itch in my mind. And the reason that I chose French here is because my dad's side of the family speaks a lot of French mostly, and I just want to be able to talk with them more than, salut, ça va? Oui, ça va bien? And oh, you want to know where I take these classes? Ever heard of Lingoda? Lingoda puts you in an actual virtual classroom with only a handful of other students and a certified teacher. This type of learning works amazingly for me because I need accountability partners to do things. What's also wonderful about this language learning platform is the fact that it runs 24/7, meaning you can take a live class at any time you prefer from anywhere in the world, really. And what makes Lingoda so special is that they offer students to participate in their famous sprint challenge. And what that entails is you basically commit to doing a class every single day for 2 months straight. And if you end up attending all those classes, you get all of your money back. It's intense. There's also a less intensive version of the sprint where you only commit to doing a class every other day for 2 months, and then by the end you can get 50% of all your money back if you show up. So you have that sort of cashback reward to motivate you. Then there's the accountability partners and the certified teacher in the class, and the flexibility aspect, setting you up for, dare I say, language learning success. J'ai étudié le français à l'école pendant 5 ans, mais j'ai oublié tout, or is it j'ai tout oublié? The sentence structure in French, I feel like, is what trips me up the most. I need to really hone in on the grammar aspect of that. Yeah, we'll see how much better I am at this in 2 months. There is still time to sign up for the sprint challenge. Check out the link in the description and use code MINA20 for a little discount. For breakfast, I had another sweet potato walnut chocolate muffin and a little carrot cake flavored muesli bowl. So for that, I added some grated carrot to a bowl, together with some muesli, cinnamon, and rice syrup. My lunch was leftovers from the dinner party. So this was rice noodle salad, green pea spread, and kimchi. I had 2 servings of this. It was so good. I had some crispy sourdough bread with more of the green pea spread and kimchi. For dinner, I made some more summer rolls. For the filling, I mashed up some chickpeas together with the last bit of rice noodle cabbage salad, and then I pan-fried this mixture in a bit of olive oil, added some more fresh white cabbage and kimchi here. Also some leftover fried oyster mushrooms that I had in my fridge, a bit of soy sauce, some chives, just whatever I could find, really. Then I rolled up a few rice paper sheets like this. And then I served that up with a bit of hummus and cucumber. These were so satisfying. Thursday's breakfast was some cereal, some cinnamon-flavored star-shaped cereal with frozen strawberry chunks and oat milk. This was an absolute self-care breakfast, for sure. For lunch, I made this cheesy pumpkin flatbread because people on Instagram demanded a recipe. A couple weeks ago, I'd made this with some friends and got a lot of questions to make it again. I got some ready-made dough here. This is the Flammkuchen type, but I bet anything that's similar, like a pizza dough, should work. And so I spread that with vegan cream cheese as the oven was preheating to, I want to say 190 degrees Celsius. And then I added some red onion to this, some chopped cooked chestnuts, some thinly sliced Hokkaido pumpkin, and just an insane amount of vegan feta cheese. Last time I did this with friends, we had also added some smoked tofu, which I would highly recommend. I can't stand the thought of you, even from your point of view. Had a few slices of that for lunch together with some iced coffee, which had added some lavender syrup too, to be fancy. It's from that Taylor Swift cake recipe, remember? Dinner was kind of the same, minus the coffee, and a side salad with leftover white cabbage, kimchi, basil, and cucumber, and sunflower seed spread. I was a bit nervous that day because I would be flying to New York City. I'm usually very comfortable when it comes to traveling and traveling by myself, but going to New York seemed kind of out of my comfort zone. I'm not sure why, I just did not know what to expect, and in my head it seemed very intimidating. And I also had so much to do before my flight still. There was a spontaneous dentist appointment that had opened up for me in the morning. I did that, and I also had to film another recipe. This was for black treacle flapjacks. Recipe will be linked in the description. So that was kind of my breakfast. This was a muesli bowl consisting of soy yogurt, tahini, cinnamon, cereal, and muesli. And then I packed up the last slice of pumpkin pizza. I sort of made a sandwich out of it by adding hummus to it, cucumber, kimchi, and bagel seasoning. This was really good. I ate this on the plane after having one of the most stressful airport experiences of my life. But I made it, sweaty and exhausted, but I made it. Also, a random thing happened where in the security line, I randomly met a girl I went to high school with. Shout out to Ellie. On this nightly direct flight, I also had a falafel wrap that I bought at the airport in Berlin. It was kind of dry, but besides that, pretty yummy. I also had brought this Share nut and chocolate bar with me. I set foot in the United States at around 11 p.m. New York time, which is, I think, 5 a.m. Berlin time. And then I tried my best to get some sleep at this cozy little motel in Queens I was going to be staying at for just one day, which the sleeping part was more or less successful. Saturday, it was time to move to the city. I got 2 apples from the motel's breakfast. That's kind of a fun and quirky thing. The first thing I'm eating in New York is an apple, and it's called the Big Apple, It's funny, okay? My first actual food stop in New York was a random cafe in Williamsburg called Brightside. It looked really cute, and it also had good Wi-Fi, and the people working there were so nice that I happily paid the $10 for my bowl of muesli with coconut yogurt. I think the first thing that stood out to me about New York is I have never seen this many well-groomed, expensive-looking dogs in one place. It's intense. For lunch, I met up with my dear friend Hans. We went to Sweet Green, a place that I would return to many times during my visit in New York. It's this chain restaurant serving really nice and filling bowls and salads, and as a vegan, you've got quite the options here. I had the shrumani bowl with added crispy Brussels sprouts. For dinner, we got food from Dig, which is another bowl place.
Wow. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Okay.
Dankeschön.
I do prefer Sweet Green comparing the two, but also we had like the last call type of food before they closed up. Afterwards, my friend took me to a Halloween party. I dressed up as Eddie from Stranger Things. One person knew who I was. Everybody else thought I'd just gone without a costume. Sunday, I woke up very, very late, feeling well rested for the first time that week. For breakfast, I visited this bagel shop here. Unfortunately, they didn't have any vegan bagels, and so I opted for their plant-based cheese and bacon sandwich. That, together with a cold brew with oat milk, was kind of amazing. Next up, I visited this place called Beatnik, which I think used to be by Chloe. Back in the day, I had the sweet potato and shiitake mac and cheese there, plus this super sweet and supposedly healthy grape juice soda, and a spooky looking cookie to share with Hans later. Which, by the way, this cookie, I would give it a 10 out of 10. It was amazing, and I would buy it again, certainly. For dinner, we had vegan dumplings. I just picked 4 random things off the menu. And then I got super tired again, still feeling the jet lag, very much so. I did end up staying in New York for almost 2 weeks, and so I do have a bunch more footage to share, but that is for another video. I hope you enjoyed your time here. Leave me a like and or a little subscribe. Also, thanks again to Lingoda for sponsoring. Yeah, learn some languages, guys. Au revoir. Bye.
I can't stand the thought of you, even from your point of view. A torso absurd, you can change your mind.